Namaskar and welcome to Learning and in this lecture we are going to see the summary of the first chapter physical world, and also we'll have some questions, and basically this is the first chapter where we are going to start the foundation of physics for class 11. So we'll basically how to solve the physics problems later in this lecture session. So first come back to the chapter summary. So in the first chapter we have seen that what is physics. So we have seen that what is physics, where we have learned that about science. What is science? Science is a systematic attempt to understand the physical phenomena in a much greater and deeper details, and also use this knowledge understanding these phenomena to use it to predict, modify, or to control such future upcoming phenomena. Also, you have seen that we just explore the rules which nature follow. It's not like that we make rules which nature would follow. It is always like we try to find the rule which is the nature is following. And we have also seen that how physics is the foundation of all engineering and technology, where the applicability have brought lots of changes in the society and also around the world. The main objective of physics, as we have said again and again, that we have also seen that physics can be divided broadly into two categories: microscopic domain and macroscopic domain. If it is a microscopic domain, then it belongs under classical physics, and if it is a microscopic domain, then that is dealt under quantum physics. And of course they have their own many sub branches, and depending upon the conditions and then region of applicability, the different subjects have their own limits and governing physics conditions. We have also seen that how physics is and even science is a multicultural and international nature, where the whole international community as a whole contributing to it, and each and every human being on this earth is getting benefited from all these developments happening around the world. Also, we have seen that different kind of forces we see in nature, they are basically the extension form, or that can all be zeroed down to or explained by the four fundamental forces, which is gravitational, electromagnetic, strong nuclear and weak nuclear forces. These are the fundamental forces which can explain all type of forces seen in nature. And we have also seen that how the conservation quantities are central to the physics, and especially the energy conservation of energy is very much central to the physics, and they are very helpful in finding, though they are hypotheses, but they have built up the whole lots of theories and physics based on assuming those hypotheses. For example, conservation of energy. There are many other conserved quantities and their scope and validity. We will study in the coming lectures different chapters depending upon the usage and other factors into picture. Now moving further, when we talk about physics, then it is ultimately the aim is to solve the problems, the physical problems. And in physics also, in your subjects when you study, you will solve many physics problems. So let's see that how to solve these problems. So I see how to solve this problem. So okay, so IC is not like IC, it is like that key which we are going to use solving the problem, which you always should remember. I'll come back to that in a moment, but before that, you see that in physics, if you are understanding the concept or the principle, you can or you should be able to apply these to a variety of practical problems and solving many other complicated problems. So let's see now that what I mean by IC. IC is just short acronym for identify, set up, execute and evaluate. So this is the step which you will follow whenever you are going to solve a physics problem. So first of all, you know, when you are starting to solve a physics problem, first of all, the first step you will do is that to identify the relevant concept of physics or the ideas of physics which you are going to use to solve this problem. Although at this step there will not very much calculation will be, but this is a very important step where we are going to make decision to which idea, which theory, which principle you are going to use to solve the problems. If you make a choice wrong here, you will never solve the problem and you will end up spending your time and energy into it, but result would be nothing. So this is very important step. You identify the idea, the concept, the physics which is needed to solve the problem, and then you start solving it. And this is the stage where you identify your target variables, like what you are looking for, what is given, and other factors, and then what approach you should be following. The next stage is that setup. Now since you have identified the physics problems, that what idea you are going to use, now you have to look for that which equation would be beneficial, be useful to solve this problem. Which equation will, you may have hundreds of equations in a given idea and concept, but you have to choose the right one, and there we are going to set up that which equation which will fit in solving this problem. The third part is that evaluate, where you are going to do the calculation part. Before you start the calculation, make sure that you have identified what is known variables, what is unknown variables, and what you are looking for, and then you start putting those into equations and try to solve those unknowns or the unknown variables from the given values. And the very important aspect here, that as a physicist you should understand what is correct, what is not correct. For example, you evaluate, you at the end of that your problem solving, you get an answer, a number, but whether that number makes a sense. So as a physicist you should have a clear understanding of it, whether it is making sense or not. So let me explain this one very simple example, though in future once we are solving many other problems we will discuss more into it, each problem, how to identify, set up, execute, and evaluate, and then we will have a much more clarity on solving the physics problems in a correct way, where you do physics, you do solve problems, and then where you do actually you solve more problems, you understand the physics much better than reading theories just there, because practically solving problems, physics problems, makes you understand physics much better way, and also clarify your many doubts, and you will look for, if you get rise of doubt in your mind, then that way you learn physics in a much better way. So let me give you an example, a very simple example. For example, if I write 1 minute, okay, so now you have seen that 1 minute and 60 seconds are the same thing, but you know the same thing because you know the physics, the unit, concept of unit, you know. So you identified, when I write 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, what it means. I am talking about that this is something related to unit conversion, right? And if you don't know, then if let's say if I divide 1 minute by 60 seconds, then this will result 1, or you just divide 60 seconds by 1 minute, the result will be 1, and the result is 1. But if you ask a normal guy who don't understand the meaning of units, right, and then you divide 1 by 60 and 60 by 1, he should be giving you a different number. But here now, as a physicist, you identified the problem that this is related to unit conversion, and where it is representing 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So there you identify, and now you set up and you made that okay, answer will be 1. Okay, and then also then you evaluated, okay, this is really making sense. Of course, if you divide 1 by 60, it will never make sense. But when I talk about that, it is the unit conversion of time, like 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, then now it is making second. The ratio will be 1. It will be either 1 minute by 60 seconds you write, or 60 seconds by 1 minute. Now, for example, let me give you another example on this. For example, let's say I am trying to convert 3 minutes into 3 minutes is equal to how many seconds, right? So what I will do is that, okay, I will write 3 minutes is equal to I have to convert into seconds. So what I will do, I will write 3 minutes and then multiply by 1. So as you see, multiply by 1. So here if I talk about minute, both is possible. 1 minute by 60 seconds you can write, or 60 by 1 minute. So let's say if I write 60 seconds by 1 minute, then you can cancel minute by minute, then you have 180 seconds. So you can see that you converted rightly 3 minutes into 180 seconds. and then and it makes also sense. Then you evaluated, you executed the problem, you identified the problem. This is the problem of unit conversion. Then you set up the equation, you executed, you considered that multiplied by 1, and that one should be 60 seconds by 1 minute. If you would have selected, so instead of this you should have taken let's say 1 minute by 60 seconds into 3 minutes. So now you see, in this approach the problem is that you cannot, if you have not converted it correctly, then you cannot approach that. You will get something like 3 minutes squared by 60 seconds, or something like 1/20 minute in square by second, right? So if you don't choose properly, don't execute the variable, don't understand the don't understand the physics, you cannot evaluate whether it is correct or not, because both are correct, right? If I write 3 minutes is equal to 3 minutes into 1 is equal to 3 minutes into 60 seconds divided by 1 minute, because both are resulting 1, you can see here, or you write 3 minutes into 1 minute divided by 60 seconds. So this both number is giving 1, but which approach is right? I would write this approach, because I can just cancel out this and then we get the unit out as seconds. So this is what the problem is. I want to convert 3 minutes into seconds. So here we get 180 seconds. And that makes sense, because this is the conversion and it is following. But if I calculate here, then I will get 1/20 minute square by second. Does it make sense? No. So meaning to say that here also you have to make sure that you have a right approach when you are solving the problem and you are understanding the problem. We have set up your equations or solving strategy correctly, and also you evaluated your answer correctly. When I say 60 seconds, 3 minutes is equal to 180 seconds, it makes sense, and you know that this is the unit conversion. But if I say 1/20 minute square per second, I don't understand. If you don't convert it into properly into when solving the problem into right units, you will not end up with the very good correct result. So this is a very simple example. Let's see many other examples coming, but you can see that how important a simple problem solving, if you don't have understanding of the physics and unit conversion and their interrelation, you will end up not solving a very simple problem like this. So this is a very common example. I hope I could have explained what I mean to say here, and how you can utilize IC formula, where it means identify, set up, execute and evaluate. So with this we'll see you in the next session, next chapter where we'll be beginning, and that chapter name would be units and measurements. So with this, thank you, thanks a lot, namaskar.